Toby here with Off the Ship. Welcome back. This is episode 3 of the 1966 John Deere 110 Round Fender project. On episode 2, we sandblasted the fuel tank and that engine block. When I got home, I dusted this fuel tank with a little primer, and this is kind of where it sits. My intention was to do the same thing with a block, and then I had not gotten the exhaust off yet. So I just wasn't thinking, hit it with a little PB blaster. As soon as I shot it, I knew that that was a mistake because PB blaster and paint probably don't play well together. I don't know, it was the next day or the day after. I just couldn't stop thinking about the exhaust, and I came out here on a whim. I believe I filmed it, it was very quick, and got the exhaust off. I thought that was gonna be a nightmare, involved heating, and it's cast, so you know, it'd be preheat and cooling and a bucket of sand involved and all that nonsense. It was fine. So I have that footage, and I'll cut to that right now. See if we get this exhaust off real quick. Backup ring came off pretty easy. All right, I'm just out here. I'm just gonna ask. I'm not gonna get nuts. Just gonna ask. Say, hey, you feel like? Now that's definitely not working. I have a lot in the way of pipes here, but I do have this off my floor jack. Same exact size. All right, so that's not gonna work. A water shut-off tool, which I'm probably not supposed to have. Nope. Ah, here we go. A shaft for a boat. Oh. I'd rather be lucky than good. Hey, Yeti. That's what I get for not giving it an honest try earlier. But hey, exhaust is off. All right, we're back. So then we paused on that project for just a minute to take on this rush job. This is a Kent tricycle. I did some repairs to this, fixed the headstock, upgraded the drive wheel bushings to ball bearings. It was kind of a fun project, and that should be on the YouTube channel by the time you're watching this. It's pretty pumped about that. On the way to getting this project done, grabbed tooling for the lathe. Turns out I'd forgotten an entire toolbox there, so I grabbed that. I also grabbed some wrenches, tap and die set, some of the stuff that we've been missing. It was a real low point when I didn't have a tap, a 1/4-20 tap, and I had to use that titanium bolt for the workbench Skycam. That was a kind of a... So anyway, we're tooled up a little bit better here. We don't have everything, obviously, but we have more than we did. So my intention is to finish stripping that engine. I'd like to get that oil dipstick out. That seems to be a press fit or interference fit. Get that off of there. I might clean up that stator housing on the lathe and bolt that back up and finish sandblasting, but I won't video any of that. We had enough sandblasting content at this point. So with that, I think we'll get to it. So I'm just going to undress this real quick. All right, we're undressed, and this right here is the issue. This is the oil dipstick tube, and I don't know how to get this out. Looks like it's press fit due to the lip I can feel inside of there. I got a pipe wrench on there and didn't seem to want to do much. I was just going to mar up the tube itself, maybe deform it. I'd like to reuse that. Either way, I got to get it out. My plan as of now is to machine a pressing piece to just drop right in here and then get a drift and be able to pop it out. I don't know if that's a good plan, but it is my plan. So in order to do that, we'll get the measurement. Looks like it's right about 3/4. Really, the only thing I have in this neighborhood is a old bent marine shaft. So I'm gonna use that. I started to daydream there and turn this cut into Tokyo Drift. Also, I think this material is a little harder than I thought. We're gonna need a new saw blade. That's my only one. And I think I'm gonna have to part this on lathe. That should get interesting because I only have a high-speed steel, one parting tool, and it is, we'll give it a shot. Might as well try parting this just to see how it likes it. It's just a bent shaft. Somebody I know had off of a sailboat. I simply took it home, figured out how bent it was, and that was that. All right, it does part okay. There's a lot of chatter. I only have the one tool. Oh, that's not true. I've got a... We should actually explore that real quick. Got a nice Dorian parting tool. So this is a very nice parting tool, and that is a not so nice tool holder. And I believe it's not tall enough. I can't remember. Yeah, that's correct. So that's a bummer because that would have made quick work of this. Still dealing with the drops here from this finger. I've got some time. I'm gonna try to source a AXA tool holder for this. I know Dorian makes one, but they are real expensive. Dorian, I mean, they make some really brilliant tools, but they are proud of them. Ooh-wee. Sometimes the parting, like, it's kind of reversed off the rest of machining. Something doesn't feel right. Sometimes just push harder. This is something I really need to do is install a little pressing screw in the back of this, because this is gonna be the death of my tailstock here. Oh, I am so sorry. You have to be on your lathe. Always apologize to it after. That was. I don't know if that hurt me more or the lathe. So the issue is that there's this tang on the end of the taper. This one just isn't quite long enough. You should be able to run the tailstock back and pop this taper off, and there's a 2MT or something, I don't know. So it gets stuck in there. And when I've been really using it, it gets really stuck. So that's one of those things that, what would Keith Fenner do? He'd probably stop the project and fix it right, but I'm not Keith Fenner. That guy's a superstar. That's all I got to say about that. You're looking at the difference in tooling right here. That's a nice TCMT carbide insert, which cuts like butter. That's good. I want a nice deep center so I can get a punch in there. Woohoo! Ordering pizza tonight. Gonna be a good day. It's too hot to cook, I think. Pizza. Where to get the pizza? What kind of pizza? Sorry, these are important questions we need to answer. Okay, so we gotta come in 382 thousandths. So I'm going to be very gentle and try to machine a collar into this so then I don't have to deal with all that measurements. And actually, you know, if I tighten that belt up, that ribbon wasn't that bad. I wonder how much of that's just my belt. Anyway, we don't need to worry about that. Let's get a little... And this is a big cut for this little lathe, and you know, I think it's just the belt. You know what? Just takes a second to tighten this up. I'm gonna have to do it. Otherwise, I'll be here all day. I'll be talking, chatting about the lathe. This will be a 9-hour video. Alrighty. Let's see if that helps any. I hope so. Oh yeah. I mean, I only snugged it up a little bit, and that's light years ahead. There's probably somebody out there going, wow, I'm not even sure anybody's watching this, but there was somebody out there going, hey, that thing should be able to do more than that. I mean, that's 200s right there. All right, well, I'm happy, very, very happy with that. Moving the pulley and the carriage around. That is one of the real nice things about VFD is you can, towards the end of a, facing or parting, whatever, you can adjust the RPM. I don't always remember to do it, but it's a nice thing. Nice big land for us to get that center punch on. Okay. Gonna work. We got a hole through the middle just because that's how it came out. But yeah, I'm gonna let this cool down. Have some pizza and hopefully be back after that to press out the oil tube. That is the oil dipstick tube. Just which seems to be pressed in there, interference fit. So I take the top hat, no, it's just a little pressing piece. Alrighty, well that was a success. And that sure was press fit in there. Kind of feel bad about that day with the pipe wrench, but hey, we were working what we had. Not sure if I went over this or not, but we did pick up a roller engine service manual. Remove valves. Rotate crankshaft until pistons at top dead center of compression stroke. Both valves closed. Piston flush the top lid. Compress the valve spring with a valve spring compressor and remove the keepers. Refer to figure 10.4. There's figure 10.4. Simple enough. 7/16. Go, it's the little wire mesh in there. Stud. Get our valve spring compressor here. So I picked up a Leslie 23300 small engine valve spring compressor. Just looking at the literature here. Leslie Corporation currently pays royalties over 100 individuals. If you have an original tool idea, which others may need, Leslie Corporation is interested in evaluating your idea. Cool, and they give you a idea disclosure agreement. I know that's an issue for a lot of inventors, or is the non-disclosure. Because if the company you're trying to sell your widget to is also, you know, putting money into research and development of that same widget, it could be an issue for that company, so they're often reticent to sign those agreements. But looks like Leslie Corporation is doing that right off the bat. Anyway, don't take legal advice from me, I'm an idiot, but that's kind of, I don't know, that's kind of cool. Alrighty. Should be some sort of tapered keeper. Yep. Yeah, that's it. Let me just get a pick and poke them. Get them out of the way. These little baby magnets are pretty darn handy for this. It's always good if you are trying to pull the right valve out. There we are. Pretty. You know, obviously not new. Remove the valve spring compressor, then remove the valves, intake valve spring, lower retainer, exhaust valve rotator, valve springs, and valve spring upper retainers. Alright, so I thought I had screwed up there for a minute, but alright. Same drill. And we have our keepers. Let's take the valve out first. I think it's pretty nice. I'm fairly happy with the Leslie small engine valve spring compressor. So remove oil pan. So it's not a bed plate, it's an oil pan. Bed plate is a big engine term. Bed plates are on 20, 30,000 horsepower diesel engines. And that's why I didn't get the name right. But you knew what I was talking about, and that's the important part. All right, next, remove connecting rod and piston. So we have done that. Remove piston rings. Remove crankshaft and bearing plate. Way ahead of you there. So we pressed that out. It's kind of, I definitely didn't look at the instructions before I did that. So this is the bit. Remove camshaft and tappets. Drive the camshaft pin and cut plug on bearing side plate out of the crankcase from the PTO side. Looks like I have to take this plate off, which is fine because I was at half a mind about turning this plate down, but I don't know if that's a tonight project or what. Also picked up these Astro, like low profile impact sockets. Who knows? They were really cheap. I said, you know what? They're impact sockets. How bad could they be? Why would you? Why would you work with me? The purse. Start with the big hammer here and then work our way up. Something's happening. Yep. Yahtzee. Said to know which one was the intake and which one was the exhaust. I can't remember which hole's which, so we'll see which one's bigger. Alright, here are your tappets. It says to label them. Bearing plate, intake. Alright, we're good. There we go. Got one paint marker. I want that thing to get all dried out. Nobody likes that. Alrighty, we'll pull these out. Back to our instructions. Remove governor gear and cross shaft. Remove the stop pin, copper washer, governor gear, thrust washer. Refer to figures 1012 and 1013. Remove the cross shaft. Ruh-roh. Hand this one out. It's a whole another story. But that was the other side. Ooh-wee. I think I might just get one shot of that, so use this, as we call it, the wacky bangy thing. Of course, it's only if we get it going the right direction, which is a bit of a gamble sometimes. There's a helix on it. You kind of gotta figure out that's a tighten. So now when you push down, that's the loosen. Oh boy, here we go. There we go. Very handy tool. I guess these probably won't get jostled around all that bad. Moving governor gear. I can't really fit my hand in there too well, so I might pop that out. Oh boy, I could possibly get in there. how do you come out? There's, looks like some roll pins holding the counterweights in. I don't really feel like getting those out would lead to anything good. There's no, just won't clear that thing. There we go. Things are kind of neat. Anybody want to go see how they work? When this gets up to speed, these should pivot out, and at least on a diesel, the governor responds to control the engine. Kind of cool. Anyway, that's that. Okie dokie. We are pretty darn stripped here. You know, a lot of the issues I had last episode could have been avoided if I had done a few things differently. I.e. brought my tools, or more of my tools over. Had an extra day, but I didn't have my tools, I didn't have the time. You know, that's okay, because still arrived. We didn't do any catastrophic damage, so far as I know anyway. Bet you they'll have a little section on that check valve or the reed valve or whatever the reed. All right, well, at least I call it the right thing, the reed. Oh, the gasket. No, I had it right. Thought I was wrong there for a sec. Don't want to mess with this. What do we got? We got enough time? Yeah. All right, we're gonna turn this down to that major diameter. Back here engaged. There we go. These interrupted cuts are always a good time. I'm gonna put my tailstock in case this thing decides to go to the moon. That's always a good time. Tailstock in case this thing decides to go to the moon. Alright, we have a power seat. We're on this power going. Very slow. We're on this power going. Very slow. I heard a big frequency change there and wasn't all sure what was happening. It could be it just bounced out. It's probably all right. I'll be right. Alright. So at this point, I think I'm gonna call it a night. I'm pretty tuckered, and that is pretty loud, and baby is sleeping, and my wife is winding down, and you know, I don't know if you can hear that in the house or not, but I'm gonna pop that. Yeah, so that freeze plug went back in. I'm gonna have to remember to do something about it, because I knocked it out. Maybe get another one. I'll put an X there. But yeah, so getting it fully disassembled and ready to get touched up, and then we'll paint it. It's been quite the day. We got a lot done on this engine and some other projects. It's hot, super hot. I don't know if my hat's still soaked through or not, but I think that's about it. Anyway, hope you all have a great night, and we'll see you soon. All right, just about the last thing we have here is this hole in the block. It's 1.25 inches, and it is the size of the crankshaft. So I'm gonna try to pass something through there to block that up. And I believe this to be that something. So we'll mark off 9 inches. Try out this new parting tool. It's definitely not made this country, but these are no-name brand carbides. We'll see how they do. Except for a little crash at the end there, and I don't know what all just broke. Oh, it was the carbide. You know what? That's a pretty beefy cut, and I was pushing awful hard, and I am not upset with that. Yeah, it took the carbide. Hopefully it's not stuck in there. No, it's definitely not stuck in there. I kind of want to say that was an Whacky size, but it's like one of those no-name Amazon purchases. But man, that thing was great. I'm just gonna face this off real quick. Nothing too crazy. What do we want to use? This is the only thing we will use. All right. These are the Coro Turn 107 Super Alloy carbides. They are awesome. Halfway respectable surface finish on that one, so got a bunch of crap on it, but it's pretty well on there. It's just sliding through a lip seal, so it'll be fine. Just like that. All right, so we have the temporary shaft plugging up the crankshaft location, so that should be good. I did all this work to get that block bare. Probably a lot more than I needed to, but here we are, and I think I need to sandblast that. But the sandblaster's way up north. I'm here, so we're just gonna put a pin on that for a little bit. I don't think, judging by the condition, I don't think a couple more days is gonna hurt this thing, and I'll get it sandblasted and then primered, and then it'll be good to go. So just like that, episode 3 is wrapped up, and looking at the future, I'm back on my normal work schedule, so I should have a lot more time to bend on projects, not just an hour here, an hour there, as work allows. So that's pretty excited about that. That should represent quite a bit of more time. And I think episode 4, I'm going to start working on it tomorrow. That should go pretty quick now that I have a fair amount of time. And, you know, as you may or may not have seen, we're a little more tooled up. So, yeah, so hopefully that will go a little bit smoother. And then I've got all the parts on hand, and we're going to start building up the original engine with the donor block. So yeah, if you like the content, consider subscribing to the channel off the ship. And you know, I've been on the other side of this conversation many times, but if you throw us a like, much appreciated. It really does help. And you know, if this channel gets big enough, maybe Weir will listen to me and stop making those goofy logo stickers. Yeah, wouldn't that be nice?